Whether they tell you or not, they sure appreciate it when you were doing a variety of things for them that also enhance their life, their profession, their business, and maybe even emotionally. But then something happened all of a sudden, maybe. After a while, now all of a sudden, they didn't appreciate anything. Hi, I'm James, and welcome to this Apples and Oranges number 8. I want to talk about why sometimes you know a person was all right with maybe what you were doing for them, whether they asked you to do it or not. And there may come a time period where whatever time or resources you devoted to actually helping them out had to slow down or even come to a complete stop. Now, there are times that pass by, you see, where all of a sudden you might hear from the grapevine or the rumor mill or what have you that the very well-intentioned, uplifting, positive, beautiful thoughts that you had for that person, all of a sudden now, apparently, they're saying they didn't like it, it was unwarranted, and all of this. So, in other words, your love for humanity, neighborly Samaritan type ways, where all of a sudden now was supposed to be misconstrued, because that's exactly what ended up happening, as if your intentions were actually opposite from anything that were honorable. Now, persons who have experienced this at times realize that, hey, okay, something must have happened for this person to say this or that, or to actually, relate that other types of attempts to resolve something through, communication, writing, and things of that nature, weren't used, or they were used, but maybe the impression was trying to be given that these type of good business practice and establishing a fine foundation with persons weren't used, which again, they really were. Maybe somehow certain items got lost through the email, maybe through social media sites or what have you, you see. And that's one reason why, always talk about the matrix of the internet at times. There are so many ways that things, even though whatever you post on the internet is never lost, somehow, sometimes people just, just don't have the means to really find it or the time and energy to do so. But the other reason, this is in closing, that the person may not appreciate or saying they never did appreciate what you were doing in times past, it could be because now, or maybe they have always been, the association of crowd that they are running with, you see, may not have liked or was actually jealous or envious of what that person was doing for this one, you see. And so now in order to stay in good with the crowd, they just have to, in some ways, act like they agreeing with what the crowd is saying about that person, you see. Saving face, if you will. We all make mistakes. We all need mercy and things of that nature. And yet there comes a time where it's one thing to save face, and you really appreciate when someone allows you to save face, you see, vice versa. It's another thing to not take that, once again, that mercy and just go about your business. You see, it's important to do that, because if you didn't, actually, because of knowing inside you really did appreciate everything that person was doing, actually tried to find some way to start changing the narrative of what that person's intentions were, what that person was relating, which you know, even in your heart, that person had nothing but good for you. But to try to change the narrative now in order to add more credence to the saving of face that maybe that individual has actually granted you, you see, and just leaving it alone because it is just something that, was an understanding between you, that person. Be careful if that word that a lot of people like to use, which is karma, that all of a sudden karma doesn't, come knocking on the door and said, I wanted to, allow you to, save face. And what is this that I keep hearing about the narrative that you're trying to make it sound this way or that way? And see, that may be common because the person that, now all of a sudden you may not have really appreciated from what the rumor mill may be from the total beginning, you see, may just say, oh, forget it. Y'all just leave it in God's hand. And so how does God respond sometimes? Sometimes he'll just allow other events from, what has been stated and things of that nature, just to refresh your memory. Especially, as I've always mentioned, it's, we should never, of course, wish bad on anybody. We should never do that. But it's interesting, like I said, to really wish ill on somebody that that other than the regular human foibles, as some people just like to bring out, it does not warrant, you see, trying to make that person's life a living hell, as the expression goes. All right. So thank you for being with this Apples and Oranges number 8. And you have a very nice day. You have just listened to the Perceptive Readers Podcast. Remember, until next time, if you read something that encourages you to improve or enhance your life for the better, it becomes your reality.